Good morning, guys. Kevin O'Brien here with Veteran Recruiting. It's Saturday morning. Hope most of you are up. Thought I'd jump on here today and just kind of give you a brief overview on how our virtual career fairs work and how they're helping connect recruiters, veterans, service members, military spouses, anytime, anywhere. We've been doing these events for probably the better part of 12 years now. And the whole focus when I developed the company in 2008 was to find a quicker, easier, more efficient way to bring job seekers and recruiters together. In this case, obviously veteran specific. So many of you may not know, veteran recruiting is actually a division of Astound. Astound does virtual recruitment solutions for specific demographics. They're the ones that we own and control, such as veteran recruiting, hire grads for the college space, hiring engineers. We have MediCruit for the medical space, healthcare space, and several others. And then we also work with individual companies that want to utilize our technology to recruit themselves. So maybe they don't need us to drive attendance to their event. They just want the technology to do it. We also work with associations. We do some cool things right now with Microsoft Service Academy. We do one for the NCTA, the National Center for Television and Media, I believe that stands for. But we're doing events all the time. Last year, we did over 300 events. They're multi-company events or company-specific events. And we're on track to do more than 400 this year. But what I wanted to do today is just kind of maybe answer some questions you might have about how effective these are, how do they work, some tips on how to get the most out of them, and you make the decision if you think it's a good application for you to connect with either recruiters or job seekers. So what I will do today is I'll share with you a couple of different environments. And let's go with this one here. Share. So in sharing this environment, this is our veteran recruiting environment. The nice thing about this environment is we call it more of a recruitment center. And really all that means is the environment itself does not close. So when you register here and create a profile, you have instant access to these booths all the time. So often we'll get folks that will come into these events and they'll go into a booth and say, do you have jobs here, or do you have this kind of job? It's extremely frustrating to the recruiter. It's extremely frustrating to the job seeker when the recruiter will tell you, hey, genius, all the jobs are listed right there in the booth. Take 2 seconds and do a basic search. So when you first come in, and because we leave it open all the time, there's nothing stopping you from doing your homework ahead of time. When you first come in, we're going to ask you 2 simple questions. What are you looking for, and where are you looking? So let's just say for this exercise, I put in sales and Chicago. I click search. Lo and behold, it shows me some companies that have sales jobs in Chicago. Now, the nice thing about doing this match before I move on is it actually gets you thinking about companies maybe you wouldn't have thought of on your own. And I use Travelers Insurance is a good example. A lot of people wouldn't think of nursing positions with Travelers or a pilot position with JP Morgan Chase. But don't think you know what a company's hiring for just based on their logo. But when you do a basic search and you see companies that pop up in that location and you go ahead and you click on their booth, there's some things happening behind the scenes that are really important to you in your job search, because what does every job seeker want, right? They want to be close to the application process. They want to know where their resume is at. They want to know if someone's seen it. Oftentimes when you go to a company career page, you don't know that that's happening. Maybe the applicant tracking system kicked it out, or maybe it just never found its way to the recruiter desk. So we do some things in here to help you with that. So you've done a basic search, sales, Chicago, Travelers is one of the companies that pop up. You come in here, you go to the Travelers site, and you start to see, okay, what kind of jobs do they have in sales? You find a job, you apply for it, as you normally would, but then you can come back to the booth. If a career fair is happening, you can chat with the travelers' recruiters in real time, of course. But let's say a career fair is not happening. There's two other ways that you're able to communicate with them. First thing you can do is click the little recruiter box up here, as you'll see travelers recruiters, and you'll see the two that they have listed are currently offline. And you know they're offline because this box is grayed out. So if it was green, you could chat with them in real time. If you wanted to send them an email, just click on the mail icon. Hey, Frank, found the following position. I think I'm a great candidate. Here's a copy of my resume. Love to know next steps. Seriously interested in learning more about the position and would love to interview. Send. That's going to go directly to Frank's email. So for you job seekers out there that are wondering why is no one seeing my resume, here's a very easy way for them to see your resume. In addition to this, we can also turn on for companies something called booth alerts. And essentially all that means is when you go into a company booth, if it's not staffed, like say we're not advertising an event that day, they can still receive alerts with your profile in real time as you enter their booth. So let's say you go into this booth, they have booth alerts turned on. Essentially what they're going to see is your profile. Let's see if, so let's say it was Larry Love. I would get his profile like this. Hopefully you would have his resume and picture on here. It would be sent directly to my email and say, you know, Larry's in your booth. He's interested in this location. They can come in and chat with you. They can call you off the resume. If they don't see a fit, they may just file it away. But these are happening all the time, and our recruiters love them because the booth is essentially working for you, working for them, even when they're not in it. So during the multi-company career fairs, you can go from booth to booth to booth and see what they have to offer. You can do a basic search to try to narrow. Now, the search is not going to be 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. I always tell folks, go to as many booths as you can, especially because the environment is open anytime. Pick a couple, find jobs that you're definitely interested in, apply, connect with the recruiters. From there, they're going to put you through the normal vetting process. Oftentimes we get asked, are these interviews? They're not interviews. They're not job offers on the spot. We're not even going to set that expectation with you. It's a very easy way for you to come in, see who the companies are, learn about them, apply for jobs, chat with recruiters, and you could be sitting in your pajamas at home. That's the real value proposition of this. Now, I do want to share with you at the conclusion of a career fair, we give each company a detailed report. So this last event, you can see we had 1,164 attendees. They get all of this information. This is where the real recruiting begins. We've cut out the email addresses here for obvious reasons, but they get copies of your resume. They get all of the information that you registered with. So if they want to sort by location, education, security clearance, rank in the military, what job field are you interested in, what is gender, do you have a service-connected disability, they can do all of that, and this is what the employers love because this is what they recruit from. So they receive this after each event. So even if you don't chat with everyone, your information can still be shared as long as you've agreed up front to have your information shared. So moving along here, in addition, this is a multi-company booth environment, just like any other traditional career fair. What we've really started to do more of these last 2 years, excuse me, my throat's a little dry, are these company-specific events. And our partners love them, the job seekers love them for a very simple reason. When we invite you, and in this case, I'll use Chase as an example. When I invite you to a Chase event, I'm going to tell you up front what jobs, where the jobs are located, what are they looking for, where are they looking, all the information you would typically would love to know going into a job fair, we're going to tell you up front. You then make a conscious decision if Chase is a company you want to come in and meet with that day. And when you do, instead of going into a shared environment, you go directly into the Chase Recruitment Center. So there's no other booths to visit. It's just Chase. The interaction works exactly the same way. They can have a welcome video pop up if they want to. But the engagement works exactly as it would in our multi-company event. So when you register on veteranrecruiting.com, you'll get invited to veteran-specific events. If you want to be invited to non-veteran events, veterans are always included in all of our events, but veteran recruiting is veteran-specific. But we also have another site called virtualcareerfairs.com. I'll put the link in the first comments here. If you're an organization that's been thinking about adopting a virtual strategy, we'd love to work with you, especially with some of these travel restrictions in place. This is proving to be an easy, effective, and affordable way to maybe stay on campus or to keep recruiting if you've been prevented from traveling, or maybe campuses aren't letting you in, or an event's been canceled. The virtual component is a very easy way to stay connected. So hope you enjoyed this demo. It went on a little bit longer than I had hoped, but it really is a great way to, number one, to recruit veterans if you use our veteran recruiting platform, or number two, to have your own platform, and you can work with us on if you need help driving attendance to your events. That will be done through virtualcareerfairs.com. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. Have a great Saturday, and I'll chat with you soon.